This podcast is brought to you by iPlayHockey.ca. iPlay is the leading hockey insurance provider to coaches, camp instructors, spring and summer hockey leagues, and tournaments across Canada. If you need insurance for hockey, iPlay has you covered. iPlay also provides hockey players and coaches with a wide range of free tools, drills, and skills in their drill vault to enhance on-ice performance, and they provide crucial off-ice knowledge as well. So if you need insurance for a hockey team, league, or camp, or if you just want to teach your kids some new drills, head on over to iPlayHockey.ca and check out their new website.
Welcome to episode 270 of the Boys in the Booth podcast. Cody, Abrams, Melbourne, and Morrell. Cory, Mo Money, Mo Problems, Morrell, our good friend of the show, joining us here. These have been a lot of fun, these post-game type shows. We've had our other good friend Adam James on. But Cory, we had to get you on too, brother, to recap Canada and Czechia, the quarterfinal game that we all saw this afternoon. What a finish to that one. What a day it was for hockey, guys. 4 games, 3 of them going to overtime. But more importantly, Canada moves on to the Final Four, the semis, at the games in Milano Cortina. 4-3 overtime victory over Czechia. And guys, when Canada got the job done, when Mitch Marner got that overtime winner, me watching it, it wasn't a celebration. It wasn't a woohoo, let's go, a bunch of expletives. It wasn't like that. It was just an exhale, a huge exhale, huge sigh of relief after that. That game was a little too close for comfort. Where do you want to start with this one, guys? Case, do you want to kick us off?
Well, first of all, I want to say that I slid across my kitchen floor on my knees when they scored the final goal. So I don't know what Harp's problem is, but man, that was a lot of stress. A lot of stress I don't need in my life right now, but it was rewarding in the end. Almost would have been a life crisis if it went the other way. But the first thing I got to say was the earliest thing that happened in this game. And I just need to echo it forever and ever. Connor McDavid, Macklin Celebrini, forever. 10,000 years of that. Just continue that until Connor McDavid retires when he's 51.
It was the Celebrini McDavid show all game. Anytime those two were on the ice together, it was just magic happening. Like, I noted it down because of how good Celebrini has been all tournament, really. But on that first goal, like, and so we'll get to that, where Celebrini gets the first goal. It's from McDavid. I know Celebrini has 5 goals in 5 games now, or in 4 games now, rather, as a 19-year-old, which cannot be overshadowed by any means. But McDavid is averaging, coming into this game and almost at the end of this game, a point per period. Like, he is absolutely electric. So we just have to give credit where credit is due here. Like, we can't take Connor McDavid for granted because he has been so good in these Olympics, and his speed and creativity just to create that goal was insane. We're witnessing the best player maybe to ever play the game, and he's getting it done on the biggest stage, and that just can't be taken for granted. Cory, I know you got a lot to say about Celebrini and McDavid. What do you think about that first goal and just about those two in general?
Yes, Chad, you're absolutely right. Thank you guys for having me on. It's good to be back. And yeah, Case, I'm glad you said it, because if you didn't, I was going to come in here all hot. Celebrini. The guy's an absolute stud. And I don't know, Chad, are you hearing rumblings like I am? McDavid maybe down to San Jose in a couple of years? I don't know.
I could see it. He only signed for 2 years.
Yeah, Harp, you're absolutely right. Sigh of relief. I found myself where I didn't think I'd be, kind of buried in my couch, hand on my head, going, there's no way it's going to go down like this. The team is so good. They've dominated the group stage, and they just can't go out like this. And then, Case, I was right there with you. Spent the last 20, 30 minutes of that game on my feet, fist pumping, jumping around, and just a mix of emotions. But yeah, what a game and what a day. And you know what? They're through to the next one, and all they got to do is get one more, and we're back in it, right?
That's
I was
right.
fairly positive all game, but the moment that I let that slip and I almost said it's over, was when Taves buried the puck into the shin pads, and there was a Marty Necas, how we've talked him up all tournament, a breakaway from him. I was like, it's over. I said that out loud watching it. And then Benner comes up huge and makes a save. Right there, it sucked me back in, and I was like, I believe in these guys. They got it. No problem.
Yeah, but Case, like that worry is real because as we know, as Team Canada fans, these teams have had struggles against Czechia in the past, most notably at the World Juniors, right? Czechia kind of has our number out in the quarterfinals 2 years in a row now at the World Juniors. And I know we handled them in the preliminary round here at the Olympics, but this could have been a chance, or this was a chance for the Czechs to just come in and take out Canada in the quarterfinals again at the Olympics this time. So yeah, the demons are real. And I agree with you. Like as soon as you see Necas go down on that breakaway after just a boneheaded shot, in my opinion, like boneheaded. I think you got to put that in the corner if you're Taves. When he goes down on that breakaway, all you're thinking is, oh my God, like these guys own us. Like this, they own our country in hockey. And then of course, Binnington with not one, but two saves on that breakaway. And then again in overtime, we're jumping around now, but again in overtime where Necas feeds, I think it was Simek backdoor, and Binnington comes out, makes a big save, and then Marner goes down and wins it in overtime. So yeah, like the demons were real here. And I'm just so happy that these guys were able to get it done because I was worried for a bit, definitely pretty nervous.
It was obviously the best the Czechs have looked all tournament, and they just looked strong and heavy and played the way they play in the World Juniors against Canada and beat them. But it did worry me a little bit when they went up a goal early on, because you just knew they would do exactly what they did, and that was put 5 guys on their blue line and say, yeah, well, wait, you come to us, go ahead. They just sat on the blue line, played early 2000s, late 90s Devils hockey, and just clogged up the neutral zone. And it was impossible for McDavid to have that bursting speed. Guys were talking about, McKinnon, maybe he's hurt. I think it was just he was getting clogged up in the neutral zone. All that north-south speed we've talked about. It was stifled for a while there. And eventually they found ways to crack through it, and it looked good when they did.
Yeah, there's only so much room out there, especially when they start playing that trap system. And like speaking of Necas, while we're still on him here, I thought he was electric all game. I thought him and Pasta were really creating as much as they can. I thought Necas, especially at 5-on-5, was really good, whereas I think Pastrnak is more dangerous on the power play. But I also thought a couple other guys, and tell me, Cory, if you agree about these two other players. Lucas Sedlak, I thought was really good. He plays in the Czech League, point per game there. And David Tomasek, who's actually played some games for the Edmonton Oilers this year, but is an SHL player too. I thought those two in particular were great, in addition to the 2 NHL stars. So what'd you make of those two guys?
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And it's like you said, Case, like clogging up the neutral zone, like it doesn't take one guy to do that or your superstar to shut down their superstar. Like it was a full team effort. And I'm glad you brought up Necas. Adam and I went to, as you know, the Colorado-Montreal game a couple weeks ago. And I got to say, I was disappointed in the way McKinnon looked, Makar looked. Like Avs just didn't have it that night. The only player that stood out to me was Necas. And he was just ripping around. He looked so good. So, I mean, it's no surprise to see him perform that well against Canada's best, too. But, I mean, yeah, like you said, just a full group effort. And you know what? Like they all said, and they knew it going in, and I'm glad they acknowledged it. Very hard to beat a team twice in the tournament. Like you see them first game, you kind of get the bugs out or whatever, you're getting your feet wet. But that quarterfinal game, after, you know what, demolishing France, like kind of an easy one, a layup going into the quarters. How do you kind of get your wits about you and come back strong? And they looked like they kind of faded a bit, but it was definitely a good test for them. But yeah, hard to beat a team twice, and the Czechs definitely made it tough on them.
BetterHelp is the paid partner of this video. The new year is a blank space for you to write a new story. BetterHelp makes it more convenient to get you started. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy more comfortable and convenient. They carefully make sure therapists on the platform are well qualified, and their customer support team is there to help you if you have any questions. With over 7,000 reviews and a 4.5 rating on Trustpilot, BetterHelp is a platform you can trust. Your next chapter starts today. Get 10% off your first month of BetterHelp online therapy at betterhelp.com/boysinthebooth in paid partnership with BetterHelp.
It was a horrible looking start on defense. Like it looked like the Czechs, yeah, like you said, they had their one game, let that slip, and then had them solved early on. It was sloppy, and it was less about, staying away from making turnovers. These guys have to be creative and make the good pass, and it's the only way you're going to slice and dice a team like the Czechs. So turnovers are going to happen. It's like, what happens after the turnover? Well, we saw a bad turnover by Stone early on, and it looked like no one knew where they were on the ice physically when that first goal happened.
Yeah, that was a tough turnover. Like the whole, like the cross ice pass to nobody. I mean, you trust Stone to make those plays. Like he's one of the more reliable guys out there on the ice, but just a brutal, brutal look. And I got to say, before that, something I noticed, and of course I noticed it because it was one of the goaltenders, but Jordan Binnington, like I thought he was great tonight, honestly, or this morning rather. I'm going to keep doing that for the rest of the Olympics. I thought he was good in this game, but it just, every time he plays the puck, it just reminds me how good he is at it. And there was a play right before the first goal against where it's a dump in on net. He stops it. And with one hand on his stick, he backhand sauces it from one knee to keep the play moving to a guy on the boards. And then it was maybe 30 seconds after that the puck ends up going in his net. So maybe he should have covered that, but I just had to say when I was watching him move the puck there, like what a confident play. I really trust him in net, despite the fact that he gave up 2 in the first. I did honestly think he looked really great tonight.
Did you guys see Scott Wheeler's tweet that, making the case for Logan Thompson to start in the semis against Finland on Friday? Like,
no, and I don't want to see it.
Clickbait. That's rage bait from Wheeler for sure.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing.
Oh, for sure. But just again, it's another. It's like we want a reason to pile on Binnington, and he saves the day again. And like going back to what we were saying off the top here. When Natchez was on that breakaway, I thought it was over too. And I was about to rip off the message to you guys that, for fuck's sakes, Czechia owns us. And Binnington saved the day again. And, you talk about Binnington and just the big saves he made late in the game to get it to overtime and then ultimately to help seal the deal for us and punch our ticket to the semis. But got to give my flowers to Lucas Dostal as well. He was terrific, especially like really through those first 2 periods. I mean, that second period, especially after kind of a so-so first period and a bad start, like you mentioned, Case. I mean, he was on fire. Like Canada, was all over Czechia in the offensive zone, a couple of power plays, and he stood on his head. Boy, the Anaheim Ducks have a good one in Dostal. And, he is capable of stealing a game. And, he almost did that against Canada. So I gotta give him a lot of credit. And then Simic was the player that stood out the most to me. And if I was
won it in overtime.
Yep. And if I was an NHL club, I would look at him to give him a shot. Like, hey, where are you at? Would you come out, for a look, that sort of thing. He was very noticeable all tournament for the Czechs. So anything else, guys, before we talk about, I wanted to talk about the depth, namely Nick Suzuki, big goal in this one, and the injury to Sidney Crosby and the response.
Before we get to both of those, Case, do you have something you want to go?
Before we get to what Chad wants to get to, before we get to that,
and Cory's into.
I just want to talk about one more Czech player who really stood out in that game for better and for worse. He almost had the game on his stick high slot late. He also was involved in the play always and was striking fear into me. And I'm in Canada right now, and that's Radko Gudas, who, like, not just the physical play, but he set up a goal early on with a rush from Radko Gudas that turned into a goal.
It's all over the ice.
And yeah, he had it high slot late in the game. Binner made a huge save. But man, I did put in my notes, Gudas, good game. Gudas, dirtbag. That was my note.
Such a scumbag.
The forearm that he leads with on every body check he made in that game was disgusting. And it resulted in an injury to Crosby. It resulted in a power play for Canada when he did it to Hagel later on from behind, like back of the neck forearm.
Full extension.
While
me? What do you mean?
And he's chirping Tom Wilson saying, "Oh, a 10-game suspension. You're going to get a 10-game suspension," or whatever he was saying. You were not one to speak.
Yeah. No, I honestly, Case, I'm glad you brought that up. I thought he was great tonight everywhere on the ice, but I also noted down, like, just maybe the dirtiest player in the tournament. Like, honestly, the way he was finishing every check. So I'm glad.
Not according to the French. He wasn't the dirtiest player.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't banned from his team for life, like kicked out of the league, had to pick up his ball and go. But yeah. Okay, the thing I wanted to get to, Hart, before we talk about kind of the leads of this show, the Crosby injury and the Suzuki play and the Marner overtime goal, I just wanted to mention, Marchand was back, Morrissey was not yet, Bennett out, Jarvis stays in. What were you guys' thoughts on the lineup decisions by John Cooper here? Would you have done the same thing?
Well, first of all, I think he probably regretted it for a second when Crosby got hurt that he didn't have a Bennett in the lineup to also play center as well as moving Suzuki. That happened to be the best thing possible for Suzuki in the end, getting him back at center. But I thought that Jarvis looked really good, and it seemed like they're really going to him late in the game, and he stood out. So I've been banging the Bennett drum all tournament long, but I'm very happy with things worked out here, and I had been dogging on Suzuki a little bit, I guess I'd say, and not really too hard on him, just saying, like, if he's gonna play wing, I'd rather have someone else in the lineup. I'd rather see him at center. Well, I looked at Reb and I said, I take back everything I said about Nick Suzuki.
Yeah, that was before he scored, right?
No, that was seconds after he scored.
Yeah, that was in the moment where he hit the post on a wide open net, right? That's what you were thinking?
That one too.
Cory, talk about that. You sent me a video of that one.
Oh, yeah, and I was just making a bunch of very unhappy noises, so I guess it was meant to be. I mean, he ended up getting it back, so all's forgiven.
Got his redemption. Puck don't lie.
That's right.
All right, Chunk, take it away.
Chunk, I haven't watched the snap that yet that you sent me, but I knew it was a video about Suzuki hitting the post.
Just make sure the volume's up, brother.
Exactly. Oh, but no, I like talking about the lineup and, what changes you make with Marchand coming back in. Jarvis has looked pretty good, since drawing into the lineup. Suzuki was going to be the odd man out for me, and he was talked about by others as well as a guy who was kind of struggling to find his role on this team, and then sure enough gets the big goal there in the game. Great tip too. Like, just not a lot of guys can make that play in front of the net, redirect the puck the way he did, and good on him. And if I'm not mistaken, that was the 2-2 goal, correct? Or no, sorry. The 3-3 goal.
That was the
3-3.
tying goal.
3-3.
Yeah,
That's
3-3.
right. 3-3.
Yeah.
That's right.
So wasn't sure if we were going to get right into that yet, but I'm glad we are, because
Let's do it.
that play was just brilliant, because Canada probably tried 3 or 4 times before that to dump the puck in and retrieve it, and were unsuccessful every single time. And it was in the dying minutes, and they were just desperate to get zone time against the Czechs. But again, you can't get through that blue line. And there was a change happening, and Suzuki looked back, saw his guys changing, and said, I have a step here on the defender to get into the blue line. I'm just going to eat the puck in the zone and wait for my guys, which, I mean, that's a common play in hockey. That's what you do. And he did it to perfection, though, being able to hold on to the puck for as long as he did, making the play behind the net. Then it goes low to high, and then not just darting it to the bench because he's gassed. He found a little bit more gas in the tank, gets in front of the net, and tips it in. It was just a brilliant shift from him, and I take back everything.
And then with like a minute left in the third period, tries, I don't know if you remember this play, kind of beats a guy on the far side, comes around the net, a little wrap play that he almost puts in too. Like, he was feeling himself after that goal, and he almost had another one.
I think that was a bit of an Austin Matthews wrap, where he spins it around, and then the hope is it's just going to hit a pad and go to the guy like far side. But yeah, he was getting the puck to the net and getting the puck into the danger spot. So absolutely love that from him.
Yeah, the depth was absolutely there tonight, starting with Suzuki. I thought Jarvis was really good, like you guys mentioned too. So yeah, the only guy, honestly, tonight who didn't really do it for me, and I just kind of noticed him out there a lot, and I think he's been good all tournament, so I want to preface that, was Hagel. I just didn't think Hagel had the best night tonight. Not that he was making any glaring mistakes, but I just didn't think he was creating as much as even like a guy like Brad Marchand, who only played 7 minutes on the night. So yeah, Hagel for me just wasn't necessarily doing it, but I thought the depth overall was really good. And they had to be tested with Crosby out.
This podcast is sponsored by SeatGeek, the absolute best ticket app out there. SeatGeek takes the confusion out of buying tickets, making it quick and easy to get the best deals to tickets at your favorite sporting event. SeatGeek does this awesome thing where they score each ticket out of 10 based on its value, so you know whether you're getting a good or a bad deal. Last time I got tickets to see the Devils play, I first saw red tickets. I waited it out, monitored the price in-app, and once I saw green, I pulled the trigger. SeatGeek makes it that easy. And here's the best part. SeatGeek has completely hooked us up. Boys in the Booth listeners get $20 off their first purchase on SeatGeek with the promo code BOYSINTHEBOOTH in all caps. Click the link in our description to download the app, and remember to get your discounted tickets using the code BOYSINTHEBOOTH in all caps. Get great seats for a fraction of the cost with SeatGeek.
Totally. And I give a lot of credit to Tom Wilson as well, because the Czechs were trying to bait him the whole game. Let's see if we can frustrate this guy, get him to retaliate, do something stupid. And for the most part, he kept his cool, delivered some big hits late in the game, tried to get the guys going when they were down by a goal before Suzuki tied it up and made it 3-3. So I give a lot of credit to Tom Wilson as well, because like we were questioning Suzuki with the lineup changes, would he be the guy to come out? He gets the big goal. We had questions before the start of the tournament about Tom Wilson, how he would fit in, how he would be judged by everyone on the ice, the officials, how he would carry himself. And he's done a great job, I think, to this point. So I got to give Wilson some credit as well.
He's been smart, he's been effective, and he has lit up the crowd every single time he lays a massive hit. It's like so fun to watch. So I'm happy with that. Chad, you pointed out one guy who was standing out in a negative way for you. I'm going to do the same, but then instantly go back on it, because that was Mitch Marner. And actually, with 5 minutes left in the game, or 3 minutes left in the game, around that time, again, I was watching at lunch with Reb. I said, boy, they keep going back to Mitch, and he has been dog shit this game. So I'm just on a roll over here. And once again, like I said, I did a big celebration after they scored, and then I looked back at Rab and I said, "Take back everything I said about Mitch Marner."
Yeah, take it
It was
all back.
immediate. I'm like, all right, who do I shit talk now because they're just gonna go out and score a goal like in the semifinals or whatever. So
Yeah.
I have to say, all three of you had like magic power moments today. So Case, you talking smack about Marner, he gets the game winner to move us on to the semis. Junk, you freaking out over Suzuki hitting the post on that open net. Well, he gets the tying goal to eventually get us into overtime before the game winner. And then Chad, you with a completely different game. The other quarterfinal, USA Sweden, late in the third, messages us, Chunk. Ready for this? He goes, "There's no way Hellebuyck's getting a shutout, right? It's 1-0 late. A minute 30 left. Sweden ties the game.
Makes
and we're off to
me
overtime.
Sick. Especially you're a goalie and you're saying that, but that's just like
that's how I know it works.
That's bad voodoo.
So,
I want
like,
no
the three
part
of you,
like I don't want anything to do with that. And Chad is putting that out in the ether.
Hey, look,
that
three of
is
you
how
have
I
been
know it works. I'm
freaks
telling you.
today. Like, just
I saw Hellebuck having a great, grandiose old game over there, and I went, "No way he gets a shutout." Listen, I'm embarrassed of how much I do this, but I will say it out loud, even if I'm watching a game by myself. If I'm playing a team in fantasy and they've got a goalie in net, and I'm watching that game, I'll go, "There's no way he's getting a shutout tonight. Nobody around." Like,
that's disgusting.
And it works. I'm telling you. That's how I know it works, because I played the position. So
you all had the magic fairy dust today. Well done.
Okay, let's talk about the Crosby injury.
Yes.
Obviously, it's a big blow for the team. We hope that he's going to be back later in the tournament. I think it was the second hit on Sid in that shift where he got injured, where he was kind of sandwiched between Natchez and Gudis, where he was hurt. It looked like his right leg. It was encouraging to see that he was walking on his own, but you saw it, like right after that hit on the boards, he kind of stumbled and immediately turned right to the bench and was kind of wincing in pain. So what'd you guys make of how Team Canada handled that, and just your thoughts on the Sid injury overall?
I mean, that's the awareness of Radko Gudis on the ice. What Sid's reaction to that? You know how you're supposed to kind of jump if you're last second about to get hit by a car? Well, he did not jump. He like put his shoulder into the hood of the car. So he got the worst of that for sure. And then just skates 5 more strides and gets sandwiched into the boards. It was a tough look and not good seeing him go off. Hoping for the best there. I did like John Cooper's comments after the game where he's saying that did have an impact on the team in the intermission, saying let's not let this be Sid's last game, and kind of all the guys rallying, and that's
unreal.
The power Sid has. So yeah, it didn't look good.
Coop just gets it, man. Like he's just a coach who gets it. Like he just does it right every single time. Sounds like Sid spoke as well and rallied the boys after the second. So like, of course that's orchestrated by Coop in the first place, right? Like, Sid's not coming back to the game. You give your little spiel and then you let Sid take it over. Like Coop just understands how to work a room. And I just, it's insane to me that he's never won a Jack Adams, because he's the best coach in the league.
Oh.
Like number one.
Agreed.
And what I have to say too, speaking of Coop, after that injury, I absolutely love what he did. He went nuclear. He put together the line of 29, 97, and 17, and McDavid almost scored the very next shift after the Sid injury. So there was a lot of line juggling going on, but I thought Coop managed it masterfully. And like, it pains me to say, because I think Coop, knows how good he is and kind of, thinks he's above people at times, especially when he talks to the media and when he comes to Toronto and gets his 15 minutes of fame. But yeah, he's the best coach. Like there's no, he's the best coach, period.
Yeah, he's trying to keep up with Paul Maurice down there in Florida, though. Remember that?
Yeah, that's right.
That's
Those
true.
two
guy
guys
loves the gamers
love the
too.
media. No,
Oh God, does he ever? And I do, guys, I do believe that with the Crosby factor, they were ready. They were ready for that overtime. And if it wasn't Mitch, it was going to be someone else. It was going to be Connor or Nate or someone else to put the icing on the cake. And I truly believe that. But thankfully we got the finish that we did. We get to talk about it. We get to move on, and looking forward to a great semifinal on Friday. But I
Well,
just I
we've
everyone
circled
was on the
around here.
same page, I think.
We've circled around, and I like this because I did not get to talk about the goal itself, just who scored the goal, and that I'm thankful for Mitch Marner. But that goal was, I mean, not the usual Mitch Marner type of goal in overtime you'd expect, because he was moving in slow motion. Dipsy doodled through 3 of them while no one really stick checked him at all. And then scoring in that position from that angle on the backhand, half of me, and maybe I'll get your perspective, Chad, half of me is like, holy, Dostal wants that one back. And then the other half is like, why would he ever expect that shot to go top right from that angle, from a backhander, from a player covered by 3 guys?
Dostal is 100% thinking short side because there are 3 players in the lane and nobody open back door. Also, it's a backhand, which are notoriously hard to read. Also, you just don't think Marner's going to put that across the body top glove. Like, that makes no sense. So, yeah, what an incredible goal. And also, I don't know about you guys, but I got 2 Corys on the screen right now. I'm loving it.
Don't tell me here 2 of them.
Yes.
I don't know what he's doing, but it's looking good. But yeah, that goal is just masterful work. And I mentioned it before, but a really big save by Binnington right before that goal happens. And then it's the very next shift that Marner comes out and scores the goal. So it's a big save by Binnington. McDavid and McKinnon were trying to change, and that's what allowed the player to get open back door. McKinnon cleans up the garbage, kind of resets it. And then I think it was Celebrini who grabs it, comes on for McDavid, and then skates up the ice, drops it back to Marner, and Marner just goes in alone, untouched. So, yeah, it's the big save by Binnington that starts it for me. How often do you see where it's a big save at one end, even bigger goal at the other? I just love it when that stuff happens.
Yeah.
Well, that also goes into why you're not expecting Marner to shoot that at all, is because possession is everything in 3-on-3 overtime. And that's exactly why you see a big save and then it goes the other way. It's because it's a 50-50 chance of getting possession when you throw the puck on net. And that's exactly what happened. And yeah, again, like I'm shocked he was able to just walk through there. But of course it was Mitch Marner.
Of course it was Mitch Marner. I was getting texts all day long during the game saying, like, I blame Mitch. It's Mitch's fault. Like, you saw the tweets probably. They've made their rounds already where it's Mike Stevens saying, there was a tweet that was quoted where, Canada hadn't trailed since 2010 in the Olympics or something. And Mike Stevens quoted like, yeah, because that was before Marner and XYZ. And people were blaming Marner, going crazy on Marner. And then, of course, he scores, right? And there are all the quotes after the game there's the Mark Stone quote saying, yeah, he doesn't rise to big moments. That's only a Toronto issue. And there's the Brad Marchand quote, who apparently spotted Jackie Redmond in the tunnels and said, Jackie, I've been telling you that Mitch Marner's my favorite player. Well, now it means more than ever. Or now I mean that more than ever. So, like, just amazing stuff like that, right? Like, of course it was Mitch. Comes through in the biggest moments for Team Canada where there's absolutely no pressure on him, right? No pressure from the fans or media.
OT winner at the Four Nations. Then a year later, he's got another one, and it's at the Olympics.
OT
Yes.
winner sets up McDavid for the tournament
Bang,
winner.
there it is.
And
Yep.
then OT winner. Like, the
Yeah.
guy is clutch. Get him on the ice. I mean, no wonder they were playing him so much in the end. Well, he is when he's wearing red. Maybe
Yeah.
gold. We'll see. But
They've got
they're
red
playing
ones.
him so much at the end, and he didn't look like himself. And I'm like, what are they doing? He's just been not good this game. And then he scores. And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
that'll do.
Why
And
not?
they did put that line together, Case, that we were talking about, the Marner, Suzuki, and Stone line. For a bit, that line was playing together, which I think is the all defense line on the team. You know, depending if Crosby's back next game, or if you want to put him in the top 6, or what they want to do with the lines, that is a potential shutdown line. So, guys, I wanted to talk about the goal to put the Czechs up 3-2 in the first place, because there's some controversy
How have we not
about
talked
that
about
one.
this?
How have
Yeah.
we've been burying the lead. Okay, so I'll set the stage here. So it's Andre Palat who scores the 3-2 goal for the Czechs. It's his first of the tournament, but also there were 6 players on the ice for the Czechs for an entire shift, and nobody noticed.
There was
Nobody
8 when
noticed
they
until
scored.
after.
There was 8
Well-
players on the ice when they scored, and then 6 in the celebration with them, and no one noticed.
Case, there were even more. There were 14 players on the ice when they scored. If you take a look at this, so many of
Talking
these
about Coop
they
not
just
getting the
keep
Jack
adding.
Adams, and he didn't even want to challenge that one.
Yeah, can't challenge it.
They just keep adding Czech players on the ice
That's
out there.
great.
Tweet
No.
of the night, by the way. Tweet of the night.
So this is
good.
some of the greatest irony I've ever seen in the hockey world. Is so the Czech team and staff was very upset about the officiating in the game, and they're upset about Kempny and a few other things that happened during the game. And the direct quote from the Czech coach is, "It was like playing against It was like
Try
playing
again.
against 6 players out there. You literally scored with 6 players on the ice. You can't say that." So I think that was hilarious. Say what you want about the officiating, but they got a goal out of it that gave them the lead late in the game.
Yeah. The officiating objectively was pretty bad. Like, we saw the interference
It's been
call.
bad all tournament. Like,
We
it's
saw the
been
interference
terrible.
call on Celebrini, right? And then which was the weakest. I mean, personally, I think it's the right call, but like MJ said on the broadcast, like, that's fine if that's the standard. Well, we saw in the second period, before he got hurt, Crosby got absolutely dumped, and puck was nowhere to be found. No interference. So yeah, in terms of penalties, like, it was all over the place tonight. But then to not notice 6 players on the ice, like, if that was the goal that sent Canada home, what would we have done? Like, we would have rioted.
Oh, jeez.
Italy would have been upside down.
Oh, I think everyone would have called it even with what's going on in curling. So we interrupt this podcast to tell you about one of our favorite partners, Sign Up Expert. If you're a sports bettor, whether brand new, casual, or hardcore, listen very carefully, because this ad is for you. Guys, line shopping for the best odds matters, and that's why any profitable sports bettor needs to be using multiple sports books to maximize their profits. Thankfully, there has never been a better time to get signed up, and we are here to connect you with the best promotions industry-wide. When you use our link at signupexpert.com/boysinthebooth, you can get access to all of the top sportsbooks in your region, along with a review of each platform and its unique benefits. Most importantly, all of these sportsbooks have valuable sign-up offers for new users. And when you register through our link, you will automatically receive the top offer at each one, allowing you to start line shopping with an enhanced bankroll. Guys, it's simple. When you use multiple sportsbooks, you ensure that you can always access the best available odds, which is key to successful and profitable sports betting. So, if you want to take advantage of these incredible benefits and support our brand at the same time, please consider signing up for your next sportsbook through our link in the description below, signupexpert.com/boysinthebooth. If you're planning on signing up for a new sportsbook anyways, you might as well use our link and support the boys. So, one more time, that's signupexpert.com/boysinthebooth.
Yeah, true. That would have been the karma.
Gosh. Maybe that goal counted and everything because of the missed high stick on Pasternak. Did you guys see that? And he's back on the bench.
That's not a high stick
bleeding
at all. That is not a high stick at all. You can't get a high stick shooting the puck. That's been a well-established rule in all of hockey ever since Gretzky did it. You can't get a high stick in a follow-through of a pass or a shot. So Pasternak didn't complain about that one, but did complain about the hands up high that made him bleed even more after.
Yes.
That could have been a penalty. I'll say that. But that high stick that's never a penalty.
Yeah, because if you call that, you have to call the one on Hagel too, where it's a follow-through and it got him up high. You remember that play?
Don't call it because it's not.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't be doing it. I mentioned tweet of the night. I guess I got to share this one too because this is just another one of the greatest ones. So I don't know if Cory's seen this. Case and Harp, you guys have seen this one, but this is one of my favorites from the night too. AI slop, just terrible. Gudis goalie number 60, Marner number 7.
Double
scorer.
Sevens on the threes too. That's crazy.
Wrong jerseys, just
terrible,
brutal. Blue pants.
Marner and Radko Gudis's body, awful.
His legs are so thick.
Yeah,
right. I can feel us getting a little off track here, and I'm going to keep it going with a couple more notes that I wanted to make here, just in the dying seconds that don't really matter. The first one being, how nostalgic are the blue Powerade bottles out there that they're using? How great is that? Because I immediately see NHL 2005, NHL 2006, NHL 2007. I see, those like statues, I guess you'd call them, or figures. You get the NHL players with the net from like way back in the day. They always had the blue water bottle, blue Powerade bottle on those. It's just every time I see them drinking out of them, I'm like, ooh, yeah. And I'm not even a Powerade guy. I'm just like, those bottles specifically, those bright blue bottles are perfect. So that's the first thing I want to point out.
That was your attempt to reel it in, by the way. You said we were off the tracks. That was your attempt to reel it in.
That's what I was saying. I was saying I'm able to bring this up now that we're off the tracks.
Okay. Got it.
And then the second thing is, I like CC. I'm going to say that right away. But how does he keep making the mistake of calling anyone with a 7 on their jersey Connor McDavid? No one looks like Connor McDavid on the ice. The way he skates, the way he moves, at all. And he has said it 4 or 5 times at least to the wrong player. He called Crosby McDavid in the first game. He called Celebrini McDavid today. What's next? Like Devon Taves? Why not?
Almost.
He's wearing a 7. I can't, I understand mixing up players. Commentating's tough. It is. And you mix up players, numbers are the same. That's why they told Bissonnette to change his number when he was in Pittsburgh. You don't want to mix up guys. But how do you confuse Connor McDavid? He looks like an alien out there compared to everyone else.
Yeah, that's a good point. Harp would never mess that up when he is commentating for the Braves. That's for sure. That's a good point.
It happens, but like just thinking of, CC lines that you hear over and over again, whoever it is, doesn't matter. If he's starting the rush from inside his own blue line, coming into the zone, it's so-and-so at the controls, like so many times during the game. But yes, have noticed that too. Hey, the guy's been around a long time. It's getting up there in age a little bit, yeah, but that's a funny observation. Hey, just goes to show, even the pros make mistakes at play-by-play. So
I watched the Four Nations documentary on YouTube that I think CBC put out, and Cuthbert called the 2010 gold medal goal, and he was a bit annoyed with himself, with his own call, saying that he added in some words. I forget exactly what it was, but he compared it to Foster Hewitt in the 72 Summit Series, where you just say the name of the player and you say scores, right? So that's what he wanted to do. And for the Four Nations, when he got to call it, all he said was McDavid scores and kind of let the moment live without talking over it, right? And he felt that he talked too much in the 2010 Olympic gold medal goal, but for the Four Nations, he got a chance to redeem himself. I wonder if he does the same for the Olympic gold medal.
Yeah, I can agree with that, but at the same time, is there anyone that could ever beat "Can you believe it"? And those are just words.
Yeah. I got one for you. They finally caught lightning in a bottle. The Toronto Maple Leafs are moving on to the second round.
Of
That was
course,
a matter
like
of time, right?
why?
This is where I'm usually listening on
John,
the other
this is what he
side
does-
going,
this is what he does.
Here we go.
Oh yeah,
I don't know how
this
they
is
got to the Leafs.
Yeah.
welcome, Chunk. This is what he does. He somehow ties it back to the Leafs, and then it's ruined.
It was all a ploy. But I do wonder what he's going to say for the gold medal. And I only have one more thing to wrap up this episode, boys. What about the Brockville poster in the crowd in Italy? Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
Do we know who that is, or can we find out somehow?
Pretty great.
That was pretty cool.
I am trying to track that down, like who those
that's
two
a you
people.
job.
I know.
Yeah, of course
Who
it
those
is.
two
Clearly your
people
job.
actually are. Yes, exactly. But yeah, like and on the sign, there's like 4 or 5 names on it after like the Hello Brockville part. Again, just trying to nail down those two people. But man, what a great way to put Brockville on the map there with that sign at a huge game at the Olympics.
Just unbelievable.
In Milano Cortina. Yeah, right there. Yeah. So
And who is in the photo there, Corey? Can you see anybody?
No. I thought I recognized the one, but I don't know.
This is like the lowest quality photo. This was just sent.
You haven't seen the picture with them holding it?
No,
Send it to you.
I haven't.
Well, that's
Corey,
Yeah,
if you have that, send it to me because we
gotta
need to
get
find
that
that
one.
out.
Yeah.
Well, Harp, this
I've
is
seen
your
that, but I
job.
didn't recognize them. So
You got to figure out who this is.
yes.
put Brockville on the map. We made the flag that every Olympian is wearing.
Yeah.
What do you want from us?
Allegedly. Case there are like
sure.
6 other towns in Canada who claim that they designed the flag. But
I
yes,
also
we are
did
one.
my own back in
who claim.
grade 10, so maybe it's that one.
There you go. Not too bad. Okay, boys, are we done for this game? Harp, anything
Chad,
else to add?
I'm just sending you the better photo.
I just wanted to hop in, boys, before we get off here. Thanks again for having me on. And I came in with a couple things to say, and I think, Case, we were feeling a lot of the same emotions during the game. I wanted to talk about how Nick Suzuki looked out of place, and when they were shuffling the lines and had 3 wingers going at a time, like, he was just the guy that stuck out to me, and I was getting mad at him. And then he scores. All forgiven. And same with Marner. To me, Marner tonight, or this morning, he looked like a guy that was trying to impress like his coaches or something with his skating. Like, he looked like the guy, like, look at how hard I'm trying. Like, just the movements in his skating. Like, he's like, look, I'm working. I'm skating hard. And
All right.
I'm like, no, you're not.
I'm
Mitch.
with you now. It's the movement.
Yes. It's like, look
It's
at
the
me.
arm
Someone's in the stands. Like,
pumpy
this is
thing
a
that he was
tryout.
doing
Pick
today.
me. But he's not moving. He was doing that. And he even did it in overtime on the goal. As he's moving, he's kind of just, it looks like it's slow motion Mitch. And I don't know what it was. It was bugging me. And then he scored. And I don't care anymore. It's fine. Do it again. And just the last one was Bennington. It's got to be hard for Bennington, man. Like, coming into the Olympics, like, all the talks about him, this and that and this and that. And I'm so glad Elliott jumped on it immediately after the game. And he's like, yes, that's Jordan Bennington. He puts the jersey on. It's fine. And just the Canadian media, like, even with Tom Wilson, like, all this talk about Tom Wilson, like, it's got to be hard for him to come into this game, right? And maybe he can't be the player that he wants to be, or something's in the back of his mind kind of thing. But as far as Bennington, like, he's a stud, and yeah, it's game time, and he's ready. So it's good to see.
I mean,
Does
we
he look
talked
nervous?
about it. What was that?
Does he look nervous?
No, he does not look nervous. We talked about it though coming into the tournament. Like any other team, any other player, you're not starting
No.
him. Like you're just straight up not starting him. You look at his numbers versus Logan Thompson's over the past 2 years. That's a very large sample size. Put aside the Four Nations face-off, right? Because, that can be countered by game 7 in the first round of the playoffs last year against Winnipeg, where they blew a 2-goal lead. And I brought that up a couple weeks ago when we were talking about it too. But any other player, he's not getting the start. It would be a bonehead decision. But John Cooper loves his guys, rewards his guys, as we've talked about, and just has said from the very start, like, he's my guy. He's going. He trusts him.
Yeah.
And that means a lot to a goalie when your coach
Well,
trusts you.
especially in Canada's situation, like we all talk about it all the time. Well, what happened to the days when we had Luongo and Brodeur and Fleury? Like yeah, maybe we don't have that guy right now. So why would you not let Binnington kind of be that guy, right? Like if we don't have one of those big names like we used to, let Binnington have it. Let him run with it. He performs well. Like make him the guy. Now we got a guy. We shouldn't be worrying about it, right?
Yeah. And before we leave here, I've got to share the photo that Harp sent me of closer up of the sign here. So we got to identify these people here. So Harp, that is your homework for next episode on Friday night. That is your homework that you have to do. And Andrew Raycroft will be proud if you did do your homework. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Yes, working on finding out who those two people are. That's a
You
great
guys
sign.
gotta have
Great
them on the
photo
pod.
too.
We should. Harp, if
Well,
you
that would
track
be
them
great.
down, let's do an interview with them and say, hey, this is international news. We'll get you on the pod. This is great.
I like it. I will try. There were a lot of great things that were sent out there that connected back to Brockville. Obviously, Lars Thompson, Haley's dad, is there. She's there, of course, is married to Mark Stone. So, their family's there. Troy Gleason sent me a video that Lars sent to him just of the warm up and looked like they had great seats. And so there's a Brockville connection there. Then we get the sign stuff as well. Just great. And again, I said it right off the top, guys, but what a great day of hockey. Like, did we miss best on best or what? 4 quarterfinals, 3 of them overtime finishes, just electric. Canada moves on in dramatic fashion. Just awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Last thing I gotta say here, women's playing for gold tomorrow. I'll be watching. Can't wait for that one. Mary Philippe Poulin just smashing the record. The
Canadian royalty.
The goal to beat the record was so bad. It hit a body, bounced, skipped, went in. It kind of reminded me of Crosby's goal to tie the record, where it hit a body and went in the net somehow. But then her second goal to hit 20, she was Bobby Orring through the air, and it was sick. So I'm glad she made up for that. A couple more people have stood out to me. The second best player on that team, and it's not even close, is Sarah Fillier. She's been phenomenal and just driving the play constantly. Turnbull has been a force out there every game I've watched. And the last person that I've noticed is Julia Gosling. And again, just jumping up in the play and looking so good at all times. So Canada got smoked by the US early on in this tournament, 5-0. It did not look good. They just looked younger and faster, but I'm all hope for tomorrow. And, I think they can maybe rally behind their captain here.
Hard to beat a team twice.
Yeah, it's something like 7 in a row now for US against Team Canada for the women. So, yeah, they've got some work to do for the gold medal here.
Should be a good one. That one starts at 1:10 Eastern time in the afternoon. So, yeah, looking forward to that. I think it's going to be an absolute war between those two. in that gold medal game. Great rivalry in women's hockey. And then, of course, we've got the 2 semifinal games over on the men's side, starting with Canada and Finland, 10:40 a.m. Eastern time. So another late morning start on Friday. And then at 3:10 in the afternoon, it's the U.S. and the Slovaks. Juraj Slafkovsky, boy, he's looked great this tournament. Anyway, so those are our 2 semifinals. Looking forward to that. And of course, Case, great shout out, the women's gold medal game between Canada and the U.S. on Thursday afternoon. Chunk, you're the best, man. Thanks for doing this. Great to get you on. And thanks for this, boys. We will talk to you again on Friday. Take care. Go Canada.